And what a fantastic time I had last night. Oh, guess what I did last night? You won't believe it. I went to the cinema, well, I say last night, last Thursday night, which was kind of last night for me, but it's not last night for you, if you see what I mean. That's when the programme was made, you see. But last night, for the first time ever, and I've never done it before, I went to late night cinema to be one of the first people, no, actually, not to be one of the first people at all, it doesn't bother me, but I wanted to see it as soon as possible. You're wondering what I went to see, aren't you? Oh, come on, something you must know. You know I'm a bit of a fan of this particular thing. Have you any idea? Any idea at all? I was actually going to go in the afternoon the next day, but I found the weather forecast told us it was going to be warm and sunny today, which is not. I have to say, it's a bit overcast at the moment, but never mind. Perhaps the sun will come out later on. And the worst thing you want to do is go to the cinema when it's a nice day, isn't it? I've done that before, and it always seems a little bit weird coming out of the beautiful sunshine, of which we have so little here in the UK, and going into the cinema. I mean, I did it once in Florida. I did it a couple of times in Florida a few years ago when I went into the, what was it called now? The Orange Mall, which is like this big shopping centre in Florida. And I went to see Chicken Run. Years and years ago. You remember Chicken Run? And I also did it in Sydney, in Australia, where I went to see one after. Now, why did I go to the cinema on this day? Oh, yeah, I remember. Because I was getting a plane home on this particular day back in Sydney. This would be about 3 years ago. And fortunately, the plane, I say fortunately, unfortunately, the plane was delayed by 10 hours, okay? But because I flew business class. Oh, yeah. Oh, yes. We don't sit in the back of the plane, dear. God's sake. We don't sit in the back of the plane anymore. Business class. You've got to save the money and go business class. Forget about your hotel, okay? Remember my friend Anthony? He's gone to, what's this place called? Marrakesh. Marrakesh, that's it. He's gone to Marrakesh, right? And he is staying in a hotel, admittedly not paid for by him, but nevertheless, someone has paid for him to stay in a hotel. How much per night? Go and have a guess. How much per night to stay in this particular hotel in Marrakesh? £375 per night. I'm sorry, you're going to be off your head to pay that for a room. Basically a room. Why would anyone want to pay all that? What do you do? Surely you don't go on holiday and stay in the hotel for that entire time, do you? It's madness. £375 a night he's paid, or someone's paid for him. You don't need to do that, boys and girls. Come on. When you go on holiday, you just want a basic hotel. You want a bed, a shower, maybe a TV. What else do you want? And of course, a tea machine. You must have a tea machine, and if you haven't, then you must take a kettle with you. Very important. Us UK people, take a kettle. Learn that, right? If you've never been aboard before, then learn. Always take a little travel. I've got a travel kettle. Just a minute. Let me go and get it. I'll show you my little travel kettle. One second. La la la. Blah, blah, blah. Travel kettle, look. Marvellous. From Russell Hobbs, this particular one. Other brands are, of course, available. Travel kettle, and it comes with its complete set. Oh, no, I don't think it comes with this, but you must have adapters as well, see? Right? For the foreign electrical systems, which are all incorrect, of course. You know, I mean, it doesn't matter where I've gone in the world, they seem to have the wrong plugs on everything. I don't understand it. I mean, surely these other countries should be looking at the British way of life and saying, oh, we should have British plugs. And immediately, entire countries should swap over to having our plugs. It's a liberty that us English have to purchase separate plugs to allow our appliances to work. Come on, girls. There's nothing worse, is there, ladies, than taking your appliances on holiday only to find out they won't plug in. Perhaps you should have got battery items. I don't know. So there we are. You've got to buy your adapters as well. Never, ever, doesn't matter where you're going, except perhaps Australia. I think that's the only country I've been to where or maybe Ireland as well. I don't know. But I haven't been to Ireland. Can you believe that? I haven't been to Ireland. A country I have always wanted to visit. My nan was Irish. She was from Cork. And I've never visited that island. Yes, so always take that travel kettle with you, whatever country you go to. Very important. And tea bags and powdered milk. And I've told you before, don't eat any of that foreign stuff. It's very dangerous for you. You take tins. Yes, take tins and pot noodles and things like that. And fresh loaves of bread. You must, dear. It's very, very dangerous to eat that foreign food. I've told you that before. I can't believe my nephew and his girlfriend were staying here a couple of weeks ago. Do you remember? Oh, I love it when she stays. She does all the cleaning. She does. She goes around the house and starts cleaning his girlfriend. It's fantastic. My shower hasn't looked that clean for a year since she was last here. She does. Oh, I can't be bothered with cleaning. You know that. She's done dusting, but I did notice, I was a little bit disappointed, she didn't dust underneath the ornaments, and I had to mention this before they left. I mean, I don't mind people staying here, but you've got to work to do it. You know, you've got to do a little bit of cleaning. I only ever have nephews and nieces and family members around this house, and very, 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 very close friends. You can count on one hand the people I have around this house in a year. I don't like anyone coming here. I'm sorry, I just don't. Huh? We can't have people coming round here. They might try and steal my cat, Katie. Isn't it? Anyway, back to the story. I'm moving completely away from what I was going to tell you. So that was in Sydney on this particular day, and if you go business class, right? If you go business, I'm not really stuck up, honestly. I'm not. I am. You see, I've always considered myself at gutter level, because if you start building yourself into something you're not, people are always up there trying to cut you down, aren't they? Cut you down with one of those head-cutting things, whatever they are. They try and cut you down. I'm at gutter level, right? It's a little bit difficult to go down any further, so don't even bother. Because I know where I am in this life, at the gutter level. But I do like to travel if I'm on a plane, and I hate flying. No, I'm not scared of it. No, I hate it. Even in business class, I still hate it. But the difference is you stretch those legs right out and you're not, knees up someone else's bum in front of you. Oh, and then, there's nothing worse than sitting in the back of the plane and you think, you haven't got much leg room, but you've got a bit and you think, oh, I'll just be able to cope with this. And then the person in front of you pushes that button and their chair comes back towards you. And it's touching your knees. Isn't it? Don't you hate that? And so you think to yourself, oh no, here we go. And then you push your button and your chair goes back, right? But it always seems that the person behind you isn't as accepting as you are, because you haven't said anything to the one in front of you. But the one behind you, you start hearing tutting. And rustling of paper, and then you can feel their knees against the back of that chair trying to push it back up again, can't you? You can't win in economy. Oh no, I can't stand it. Nope, unless I can fly up, maybe premium in economy, that's all right as well. That's not much more expensive than economy, and you do get a lot more leg room. That's what it's all about. It's not about the nice food, which is much better in the business class, and I would assume even better in first class. It's not about the food. It's not about the service. It's about that extra legroom. And believe me, in business, you can lay completely flat. Your legs and arms are fully stretched. I do believe in first class, you get a massage as well on Virgin planes. Is that right? Oh, I quite like the idea. The trouble is, it would be a woman doing it, wouldn't it? I wouldn't get one of the fit lads suddenly say, would you like a massage, sir? And I need to start playing around with my neck. wouldn't he? Wouldn't get anything like that, unfortunately. So that's why I went to the cinema in Sydney, you see, on a beautiful day, when really I should have been walking. It was the day my plane was due to leave. I was 10 hours delayed and I had nothing to do for 10 hours. So what was the film I went to see that time? It was about a man on a motorbike. Now, this would be about 3 years ago, and possibly something to do with Indians as well. I don't know. Was an Indian. When I say an Indian, I mean a proper American Indian with the beautiful long black hair and that rugged look. I do like that rugged look, don't you? Do you think I look rugged? I know if you're listening, you won't know that. But, I mean, my voice, does it make me sound rugged? What sort of celebrity would I sort of be like? Would it be like Brad Pitt, possibly? Or Sean Connery, or Roger Moore, or maybe The Little Mermaid. I mean, perhaps one of those. Which one would I more like and like? Or Pocahontas? Perhaps I'm a bit like Pocahontas, am I? I like to think of myself more of a Brad Pitt. You know, I could see myself starring in a remake of Fight Club. Huh? You know, with no top on and fighting in cages and all that business. I can see myself doing cage fighting. What do you think? Let us know. I've got an email address. My email is chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. I'm getting completely off the subject here, aren't I? You still don't know what film I went to see. Okay, so Thursday night... It was Thursday night I did this. I say Thursday night. It was Wednesday night, very early Thursday morning. I'd seen the ad in the paper. Special first showing, 12:30 a.m. Thursday morning. And there was the title. Star Trek. Oh, God. Da 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 da. Oh, I love it. And I thought, shall I? Because it's a bit late to go. Never done a late night cinema before. It's a bit late, I thought. But no, I thought, yes, I'm going to do it. So then I had to go through the whole rigmarole of booking online. Now, I have never, ever purchased tickets, believe it or not, for anything online. Never done it before. Cinema, theatre, anything like that. I've never... Oh, got a bit of a sniff. Can I just have a little sniff? You won't hear this because I just pushed my mute button. That's better. Never ever booked anything online like theatre tickets or cinema. So I went on the Odeon website because I'm in Bracknell. That's where I live. That's where this show's coming from. Went to the Bracknell Odeon website and booked tickets online. I suppose it was reasonably easy. It took me a little while to find my way about, but there we are. Entered the credit card and all this business. And then it says your booking reference is. And then I thought, OK, well, what do I do now? You know, print this off. So I print this bit of paper off. I assumed that you took the bit of paper to whoever's in the office, you know, on the front desk where you buy the tickets and they give you the tickets. I thought, well, what would be the point of that? You know, you might as well just go there with the cash, give it in the office, I suppose. So I rang up my friend Ron, my best friend Ron, and he said, no, you go there with your credit card, and you put the credit card in a machine there, and then it knows, you see, it knows. Oh, it's very clever. It knows that you have been on the internet a few hours earlier and purchased tickets, you see. And then it reads your card and then prints out a couple of tickets or whatever. Or in my sad case, one ticket. I mean, do you know what it's like to have to buy one of everything? It's embarrassing most of the time, especially when you book a holiday. You know, you want to go on a cruise somewhere, something like that. Okay, sir, so that's for two people. And then you have to, and they always assume it's for two people or a family, don't they? Right, okay, so total price, so that's for two people. And then you have to, oh no, it's just one. And then like, oh. And you feel a bit small, really, don't you? Are you on your own? Have you ever been on holiday on your own? And the worst thing is when you go to places like Disney. So you've booked your holiday, for one. You've been to restaurants and eaten, for one. You've sat on the plane in one seat. Not next to anyone, because it's, of course, business class, you see. We don't have people next. God's sake! You don't have people next to you in business class. And even when you do, they have a shatter in between, so you don't have to talk to them. I don't want to talk to anyone. I want to relax on my plane journey and watch videos. And sit there and write bits of information for this programme. Yes, dear. Anyway. And then the Disney thing, you know, you get your visitor, I don't know, a ticket, is it, or pass, for one. But the worst thing about it is when you're queuing up for the rides. And usually you see the rides in Disney are designed for people to sit next to each other. And you queue up. There's some very long queues in Disney, but I don't know, it's just not like queuing. You can stand in a queue for 45 minutes. It's really not like waiting for a bus because there's always things going on around you. You know, little characters walking around, children, you know, going up to characters and collecting autographs and doing funny things. And there's video screens everywhere. There's always something going on. So when you actually queue for 45 minutes, it's not like queuing at all. Completely different experience than waiting for the bus, of course. Or queuing up at airports to put your blooming bags in, dear. Oh, how annoying is that? Not in business class, may I add. No, absolutely not. No, you just go straight to the desk and you're done. I still hate it, though. And then, so you're in this queue and there's families all around and couples and you're kind of standing there on your own looking a bit sad, really. I'm trying to paint the picture here because this is me, yeah? I am that man standing in the queue on his own. So you get to the front and it's always the same. How many for, sir? And you say, oh, one. You kind of look down, you know, oh, just one, like that. And they're like, oh, right. And they don't seem to know what to do at that point. It's probably going through his mind, poor, sad, lonely old man. Should I put him with a family or does he want to sit on his own? But I don't actually say that. And sometimes you are indeed sat there on your own and other times you sit with a family. And I notice sometimes that, you know, the long benches, particularly on rides like It's a Small World, right, where you all go in a little boat. It's not kind of a real boat in a river. It's like a boat on like a track, okay? So it only goes one way. It's not going to drift all over the place. You're not going to end up in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean, you know, trying to be rescued and suddenly put on a life jacket and a little flashing light and a whistle. Woo, if you get thrown out of the boat. None of that, dear. No, you're on a little track and it goes through like water, which I suppose is about a foot high. That's it. No fish in the water. No, there's no point in you taking fishing rods. No point whatsoever. Okay, sir. We'd like to join those there. And if there's a family, they kind of then look at you as if you're very strange, about to sit next to them all when you've never met them before. And I always, you know me, dear, I like to try and strike up a conversation. Usually it's just met with blank faces, to be honest. All right? Something like, all right, you've been on this ride before? And they just look at you. I think most of them are foreign because they can't understand what I'm saying. Must be what it is. Oh, well, and then you go on the ride and all that. So that's what it's like for one. So it was similar. It's similar, you know, when you go to the cinema and you get just one ticket, please. Oh, right, okay. Would you like to see it at our premier seats? Now, premier seats are slightly larger seats. And I don't know what our seat's about. It's an extra £1 to sit in a premier seat. But I can't see the point of that, so I like to sit in the stalls. So this particular night, I purchased my tickets online. And Ron told me to put the card in the machine. So it was about 11:45 at night. I didn't want to take a card, so I thought I'd take the bicycle. Yes, I cycled through Bracknell at 11:45 in the morning, or at night, depending on which way, of course, you look at it. And quite a different experience, actually. I am a cyclist. I always cycle around town, do the shopping, up to the swimming pool, whatever. Very, very, very rarely take the car out during the daytime, unless it's for something I can't take on the bike, like perhaps plants from the garden centre, or, well, I was going to say DIY items, but I don't buy DIY items. We don't do any of that. Oh, God's sake, no, thank you very much. We don't like DIY. How many times I keep telling you that? So, yes, cycling away. And then I thought I'd be clever. Now, of course, at night, difficult to see. Yeah, I've got lights on the back and on the front, but we have a lot of cycleways here in Bracknell, so you don't actually have to go on the main roads, which is just brilliant, really. But these cycle lights, they don't really light up for you the road ahead. Or certainly not the cheap ones do. You can buy cycling lights that are very bright, almost like car headlights, but they are horrendously expensive, like a couple of £100 for those. And for the amount of times I take out the bike at night, just not worth it, once in a very, very blue moon. Once every year, perhaps, and probably not even that, so waste of time. So I have got cycle lights, but they're more for other people to see you, rather than you to see where you're going. Do you know where this is going yet? Right, so I'm cycling along, middle of the night, completely different experience, shadows darting all over the place. You keep looking behind you and wondering if you're being followed, well, hoping that you're being followed by someone strange, but it never happens to me, unfortunately. Even I slowed right down to allow anyone strange following me to catch up, but there was no one, unfortunately, to catch up. No one about, of course, that time of day. Very lovely experience, actually. And it was pleasantly warm. I did have a coat on, but it was pleasantly warm on this night. And I thought I'll just ring up one of my other DJ friends. Grant is his name, because he's a Star Trek fan as well. And I'll make him envious of me going to see this particular film. So I rang him on the way there. So I've got the phone sort of in my right hand here, talking away to Grant, and I've got the handlebar with my left hand, and I'm pedalling along with my legs. And there's a little bit near the sports centre where it kind of breaks off, and you can go either left over the underpass or right under the underpass, and there's no fence there. So there's a bit of a drop. And I was approaching this bit. And I don't know, I kind of, because I've got the phone and I'm chatting there. No, it was Justin, sorry, my friend Justin, who runs the Steam Coach. Because I've got my phone there and only one hand on the hand, I kind of lost balance a little bit. And as I got to this bit where the road separates and one goes down and one goes up, I missed it. And I went over. 12 o'clock at night it was, and I've got I wonder if I've still got I've got a graze on my knee, boys and girls. I haven't had one of these for years. Just a minute. A graze on my knee. And on my elbows. I was so embarrassed. And it was this crash, of course, to my friend Justin on the phone. As I went down, I thought, all right, I'm not going to admit to that, And I quickly got up, and he says, what was that? I said, I just dropped the phone. Oh, he says, you all right? I said, of course I'm all right. I haven't fallen off or anything. Of course I was on the floor. Never mind. So I got back on my bike and put the phone back in my pocket. I thought I won't try that again, but of course I did. Went a bit further along, and I thought, I must ring up my friend Grant, because he's a Star Trek fan, and he'd be all very jealous. So I rang him up. I said, guess where I'm going? He said, where? I said, I'm going to see the new Star Trek. He said, this time of night? I said, yes, there's a special showing at 12:30. He said, you're not going to tell me what it's like, are you? I said, no, don't worry, I won't tell you what it's like. I'll just tell you if it's really good or really bad. Okay, so that was that. Got to the cinema, and I thought, I wonder what, I had no idea how many people would be at such a showing. Are there like queues of people like when a film first comes out? Don't know, because I've never been to one. So I got to the cinema, and it was eerily empty outside. There was no cars about or anything. So I got my bike lock out, turned the lights off, and locked the bike up on the railings outside the cinema. And I could hear footsteps. I thought, oh, maybe that's that person following me. I'm going to get lucky tonight. But no, it sadly wasn't. It was a lady, a little bit older than me, perhaps. Nice little plump lady. She looks pleasant enough. And as she walked past, I looked at her and she looked at me. She says, "Are you as mad as me?" I said, "Too right I am." I said, "I can't wait to see this." And she laughed and carried on up the escalator. So I locked my bike, got on the escalator, went up, and there was her, and there was me at this point. So as she's going up the escalator, I says, "Oh, I've done one of those online bookings." I said, "What? I'm not sure what to do now." She said, "Oh, you just get your credit card." She said, "Come with me," and she showed me, and she said, "Put it in that machine there, and it will print out your tickets." Oh, how marvellous is this technology, dear? Isn't that clever? How does it know? Very, very clever. So sure enough, and off she went. Sure enough, I got the credit card, put it in the machine. And I got itchy ear. Put it in the machine, and hey presto, out came my ticket. Yes, that's right, just a single ticket. Man on his own. I told you that already. Don't rub it in, please. Don't rub it in. Little ticket came out of the machine. Marvellous. Marvellous. Got the ticket. There's no one on the door. There's no one checking tickets on the door. I could have just walked in. Seriously. I could have just walked in to see that film. There was no one on the door at all. Can you believe that? So I've gone in there. There's me, there's a woman, and 3 other people. I thought this is going to be good. It's now 12 o'clock, right? The film, it's about 12:05. The film isn't on until 12:30, but I wanted to get there early because I didn't have a pre-booked numbered seat. And I like to be near the front. I don't like to sit at the back. I like to be near the front of the cinema. Or sort of, about a third of the way back. Because I do have a little bit of a problem with long-sightedness. And also, actually, short-sightedness as well. Sometimes, if a book is very, very small print, like this is actually... I've got a book in front of me here called Understanding Dreams. It's a bit small print now. Now, I've found these glasses here. Look at these. And I got these... from a chemist last time I was at my sister's, and I think the magnifying glasses, now if I put those on, right, you are now very blurred to me, all the things a long way, but I can now read this book. Fantastic. It's all so much bigger and clearer, which is, I think these are known as reading glasses, aren't they? Yes. So I've now got reading glasses, and I like blue rims. Lovely. Do you like the blue rimmed glasses? Beautiful. And I can read everything now so clearly. It might even be easier actually for me to read emails like this. Let's just. Well, it is actually. We might try that later. Okay. So I've got my ticket. I've walked in. Me, the lady, another couple of people there, and I thought, oh, go on, Chris, treat yourself to an overpriced hot dog, and I did. Oh, it's years since I've had a hot dog in a cinema. And the reason is because they are too blooming expensive. They rip you off for the food in cinemas. They really do. But on this occasion, I haven't had one for so long, I thought, go on, Chris, treat yourself. So I had a hot dog with tomato sauce. Oh, no onions. They don't do onions anymore. How disappointing is that? I could mind to take a chopped up onion. I'd take an onion in with me. Do you mind chopping that up and put it on my hot dog? Would they do that for me, do you think? So I'm sitting there with my hot dog and small a cup of Pepsi Cola. And I always order without ice. Do not have drinks with ice. I have to tell you that now. You have the ice in, you don't get so much Pepsi Cola. If you don't have ice, they always push that fill up button or whatever it is they do, and you get a full cup of Pepsi Cola, which, let's face it, you've paid for. Whenever you have ice, you're losing out. Don't have ice. It comes out cold anyway, for God's sake. You don't need ice in it. And it's the same when you go into pubs, right? Don't have ice in anything. God's sake, no. They are taught in pubs, I'm telling you now. They are taught in pubs, I've worked in pubs for years, they are taught in pubs to fill up the glass with ice so that they don't have to give you as much drink. Don't have ice in anything, especially dangerous in foreign countries, okay? Because you don't know what they've made the ice out of. If you're out somewhere, whatever country, having to drink bottled water, do you think they make the ice out of bottled water? Of course they don't. They make it out of the water that you're not supposed to be drinking, dear. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that particular water for the people in that country, but you are not used to it. That's the problem. You get, Delhi belly. There's nothing worse than being on holiday, I would imagine, and sitting on toilet for 2 days. Fortunately, it's never happened to me because I won't touch anything foreign, dear. Oh, no. I told you before, you go on holiday, you take tins. You must take tins. Don't eat anything foreign. It's dangerous. Dangerous, dear. I'm dreading the state of my friend Anthony in Marrakesh at the moment, dear. God knows how he is. Anyway, back to the cinema. So there we are. I've gone through. I've got my hot dog. I've got me small incidentally, small. It's my small Pepsi Cola. I sat in like the lounge. I don't know what you call it. The reception area because you've got a couple of settees there. And as I'm sitting there enjoying, I have to say enjoying my very bad for you hot dog and Pepsi Cola, a few more people are coming in now. So I thought, a few more people. It won't be as lonely as I thought it would. And there's people coming in there looking at DVDs because they sell DVDs in there as well now. So it's now around about 12:20 at night. And a member of staff comes out and people start going through. So I looked at the watch. I thought, well, I'll go through now. And then you have to walk past the food counter, you see, to go in there. And I thought, oh, should I have an ice cream? They got Ben and Jerry's ice cream. Oh, no. I thought, go on, treat yourself again, Chris. That's 3 treats in one night. It's shocking, isn't it? Number 1 treat, purchasing the cinema ticket. Number 2 treat, hot dog and Coca-Cola. And now I just don't care. I just didn't care. I thought, no, Chris, have another treat. And I did. I had 2 scoops of Ben & Jerry's ice cream. Christ almighty, how much was that? I had strawberry cheesecake and cookie dough. Ben & Jerry's ice cream. £3.25, dear. For God's sake. It was in a little tub with a plastic spoon. I mean, how bad are they for the environment? Plastic spoons. What was ever wrong with wooden spoons? They certainly seem to be stronger than these stupid plastic things that break halfway through eating an ice cream. Plastic is so bad. I was having this conversation on someone else's talk show. He does a talk show on Ustream, which is like a similar, like a video podcasting thing. Chris... oh my word, I've forgotten his name now. Lee Mills. That's it, Lee Mills. Let me find his address. 1 minute. 1 minute, because I recommend this show to you. 1 minute. There it is. It's here we go. Lee-Mills. mills.co.uk. Lee-Mills, mills.co.uk. Very good show, that is. And he does a live video show on that site, I think a couple of times a week. And I actually joined in on it last Wednesday after my live show that I do for someone. So have a look at that one, www.lee-mills.co.uk. Lovely bloke to talk to, really nice. So I got me Ben & Jerry's ice cream, and then I went through to the cinema, and I'm sitting there turned off the mobile phone, of course, sitting there getting quite excited. Anyway, so the adverts came on. In the end, there was only about 15 people in there. I mean, they can't have made money out of that, can they? Just seemed a bit of a waste of time to me. But it was a really good atmosphere. And then the film started. Now, I'm not going to tell you what happened in the film. It's unfair. I hate that. I hate that when people tell you what's going to happen in a film or happen in a TV show that you haven't seen yet, or you open. Particularly, there was a newspaper. There's two newspapers here that do that: The Star and the Daily Sun, or the Sun, whatever it's called. And it just does annoy. I don't buy both of these papers because of that. How horrible is it to find out what's going to happen in a TV show? I just hate that. So I'm not going to tell you. All I will tell you is that I'd gone to this new Star Trek film very, very dubious. I am used to the original series or Next Generation, okay? But this was original series kind of redone, wasn't it? You know, it's like before the original series happened. That's the time scale of this particular film. I was very, very dubious because they're all different actors. For whatever reason, they chose not to have William Shatner in it, which I think is a great shame. I wish that there had been a way to write him in it. And although the characters were all in it, there was Uhura, there was Scotty, there was Bones, there was Kirk, there was Chekhov, there was Sulu, and there was, of course, Spock. Although the characters were all in it, the actors were all different playing those characters. That's why I was so dubious about this film. I really thought this isn't going to work. So the film starts. And I have to tell you, from the moment it started till the very end, it's good. Oh, I got a phone call. Let me just a minute.
Hello,
Just a minute. Turn that off. Not having people interrupting while we're doing our programme. From the moment it started till the end, it's a really good film. I would go almost as far as saying possibly one of the best Star Trek films ever. It's good. And as far as saying the different actors playing the characters, it worked. It didn't just work. It worked really very, very well. Those actors, those new set of actors, none of who I know. Didn't reckon, I'd never seen any of them before. All of those actors must have worked a hell of a lot to get those characters the way they are. Because if you've seen original Star Trek, right, you will already know how a character is, how he or she comes across. And all the characters in the new film had the same sort of actions and mannerisms as the characters in the old series, or in indeed some of the very early Star Trek films. It was just amazing. Absolutely amazing. Kirk, I don't even know the actor who plays Kirk. Kirk is really good, and he's drop dead gorgeous. He's absolutely stunning, Kirk. Spock is fantastic. The only original member that was in it was the old Spock. And if you probably already know, so I'm not giving anything away here, but he does make an appearance a couple of times in it. The old Spock, there's the young Spock and the old Spock. And the old Spock makes an appearance in it a couple of times. And when he first turns round, I was almost in tears. And the entire cinema was silent when Spock turned round that first time, where he's like, no, I'm not going to tell you where he appears. No, not going to tell you. You go and watch it, because it's out of this world. I want to tell you a little very funny bit in it as well, and then I'm going to move on to some emails. And I don't know if you'll pick up on this. The people I've spoken to and explained to it don't really know what I'm talking about. See if you do. There was a bit in it where Kirk, the gorgeous Kirk, is... Now, how can I put this? It's a family show. He's with a lady laying down. She hasn't got much on, and he's only got his pair of pants on. Okay? And he does look gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous in these pants. And he's laying down with a lady who is green. Okay, don't get me wrong now. There's no sex in the film, but it's like, you know the sort of thing, okay? Nearly sex. And the woman is green. That's her colour. She is green. And he says something to her, and then it turns out her name's Desiree. The woman's name is Desiree. As a child, watching the original series, can I make you remember the credits at the end? Right? The credits at the end of the original series, and right at the very end, or almost at the end of the programme each week, you'd see a woman in green who was all green, just like this woman on the new film. And the captions at the end say, a Desiree production or something like that. And I got that. I got that little quip that they'd thrown in there. And it had me sort of chuckling. I didn't hear anyone else laughing. Maybe no one else got it. But if you see that and you remember the original series, you'll remember the lady in green and a caption that comes up at the end, a Desiree production. And they threw that in there in the film. Very, very good indeed. Finished the film, came out, everyone, there wasn't anyone who looked disappointed. They're all chatting away, and because there's only 15 people in there, we're all kind of talking to each other as we leave the cinema. And the bloke on the door, seeing everyone out, he says, you enjoyed it? I said, blown away, mate. Absolutely blown away by that film. Yes, very suitable to take children to see. I think it's got a 12A certificate. It may be different where you are in the world, but... there you go. Absolutely, highly recommended. No criticism whatsoever from me. Go and watch the new Star Trek film. The new characters work very well. The whole thing gels together fantastically. You will love it. I'll be very, very surprised if I get an email in here in a couple of weeks' time and someone says they didn't enjoy it. Those actors must have worked like Trojans to get those characters right. Absolutely fantastic. Go and see the new Star Trek film. All right? Jumped on my bike then after that and cycled home. This had been like 2:45 in the morning. I'm on my bike cycling through Bracknell. Got home, had a cup of tea and went to bed. So that's the story. Go and see the new Star Trek film, okay? You will absolutely love it. Fantastic ending as well. Really good ending. I wonder if they intend to make a new TV series with these characters. I do hope so, because I really didn't like Deep Space Nine. I wasn't keen on that. I watched quite a few episodes, never got into that. But worse than that was that dreadful series Enterprise. It was just horrific. Absolutely awful. And the music at the beginning with someone singing the theme tune. Awful. That more recent series of Enterprise. But this new film, they've got a good cast there. They should work on that. They need to make a TV series with that cast because they're fantastic. And the music as well. The music on the film was fantastic as well. None of this Ponzi singing that was going on in Enterprise. It was just amazing. You've got to go and watch it. Star Trek. Please promise me you'll go and watch it. And report back here. My email address is chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. Right. We're going to some emails. In a future show... we'll be having someone on to talk about tarot cards. Okay? If you ever wondered a little bit about tarot cards for entertainment purposes or anything like that, then if you've got a question for them, his name's Michael. Great bloke. He's done my tarot cards a couple of times, and he will be giving me a reading on the show as well, so you can see how it all works and what have you. I'm not sure if we're going to be able to... I should think we'll be able to show you the cards as well, but he does kind of put them down on a table. Perhaps I can set up another camera or something like that, those of you that watch the show. But don't worry, if you can't see the show, we do the... just a minute now, let me do something here. Oh, yeah. I will, of course, describe the cards to you anyway, so you know what's going on. If you've got any question at all about tarot card reading, then please send us an email with your question, and I'll put it to Mick, who does tarot cards, okay? The email address, once again, chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. All right, then, let's go on to some emails. Now, we finished the last show, I think, halfway through an email from the wonderful Suko in New York. And now, this, I don't let me see, do I want to read this? It's a little bit pat on the back here for me, which I often don't, I'm not very good at kind of reading out stuff that's a little bit kind of, how can I put it, praising. I know it sounds stupid. I don't always take praise too well. It's like, maybe if I've been DJing somewhere, sometimes you get a clap at the end, and I'm like, it's all right, it's only a record. I don't know. Let me see. Okay, I'm going to miss some of this out, Suko. I know it's lovely of you to write some things, but I get embarrassed too. She says, we've looked back at some of your older podcasts and love your musical accomplishments. We decided to pull in the old time bubble and take a ride way back in time to the Pontins Junior Talent Competition of 1979. I know, you've been looking at my old photographs, haven't you, Suko? Yeah, I've got loads of old photographs of my life so far. You can find those by going to my main website, my personal website, which is chrisreardon.co.uk. On the left-hand side, you'll see two galleries. And there are really hundreds of pictures there of my life so far. My mum, my dad, my sister's family, and everything else. There's a couple of pictures of my son there, although they're quite old now. It must be about at least 15 years old, those pictures on there, of my son and my nephews as they've grown up and everything there. Some holidays I've been on, a lot of my friends. I've got a lot of quirky friends, okay? Some strange-looking people as well who wear strange clothes and things like that. It's all on there. All right, chrisreardon.co.uk. On the left-hand side, click on Galleries. Suko says, and there was our Chris Reardon in 1979 playing his little heart out on the piano. We all thought you should have won. Yes, I came second in the Pontins Junior Talent Competition. It's not bad, is it? Second. Yeah, well, there were actually only 3 of us in the competition, but I still think that's good to come second. Oh dear. We thought you should have won. What were the judges thinking? That girl was her name. Oh yes, what's her name? Susan Boyle. She couldn't sing a lick. In our hearts, you were the big winner of the day. Susan Boyle, you mean Susan Boyle from the, not X Factor, what is it? Britain's Got Talent. She can sing. How can you say that? Susan Boyle can sing. She's got a fantastic voice. She can sing. And she's a lovely person, isn't she? Wouldn't you like Susan Boyle to be your mum? Huh? And Chris Reardon, I was thinking, Suko says, it would be fun to have a Chris Reardon lookalike contest. The listeners could search for pictures of people who look like you. Wouldn't that be fun? Scroll down to see a couple I've found that are dead ringers for you. And the first picture she's found is of a witch that apparently looks like me. And the second picture she's found that looks like me is of Shrek. Oh dear, do I really look like Shrek, Suko? I can't believe that. Thank you very much. I've been told I look like a couple of people, famous people. Boy George is one, and I don't think I look remotely like Boy George. I don't know why. But more, I do think I look like the Christopher Eccleston, who played Doctor Who before David Tennant took over. Do you remember him? Yeah, I do kind of think I look a bit like him. Yeah. So thank you for that. Perhaps you think I look like someone. Who do you think I look like? Anyone that you know, perhaps? Another celebrity? Let me know on the email. chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. Hello to Sue. Hello, Sue Tyler. Hello, Sue, who sends a message via Facebook. She's been watching the show that featured my dear niece, Tracey, a couple of weeks ago. And Sue says, I watched the show with Tracey. Tracey is beautiful. Can't make out who she is like. She's got a bit of Martin and a bit of Sharon in her. I think mostly Sharon. Well, of course she's got a bit of Martin and Sharon. They're her parents, dear. State the obvious. Sue, do you not think she gets her good looks from me? Huh? Sharon's brother? Her mother's brother? I'm sure she does, you know. My continuing youthful looks and my full head of hair. And she says, it was really nice to see her on the show. Chris, you really need to get Sharon, your sister, on the show. She won't do it. She will not do it. She won't even come on the phone. I don't know why, but she doesn't want people to see or hear her. Which is funny, because when you're staying at my sister's house, that's all you can. Hear her shouting, screaming obscenities at the children all the time. Jimmy, where's my tea? And all this business. Oh, it's terrible. Terrible, the lives of those children. I've often thought of ringing Childline, to be honest. Well, I know the older one's 24, but he's still a child, isn't he? Hello to Lisa. Via YouTube, this email, who says, the show with your niece was very funny. Sorry for you, dear, but a very sweet, pretty niece. What do you mean? How did you go on about her throwing the beans away? Well, she did. Terrible waste of food. She chucked away half a can of baked beans, but I have forgiven her because she is my niece. She said she took it all with such good humour. Of course she did. She's got a wicked sense of humour, my niece. It's the same as mine. I had to if you ever heard the two of us on the phone, you'd die. Oh, I can't believe those two are saying them things. It'd be a bit like that, you know. Best wishes to her and her poor doggy Monty. Lots of hugs from Lisa. Thank you, Lisa. Always nice to hear from you, my darling. And Robert in Iceland, who sent a very short email this time. It's only 2 lines long. What's happened, Rob? Have you run out of ink? Are things so bad in Iceland you haven't even got pens anymore? Is that what's going on now? And Robert says, John, how many Englishmen have played Bond? Not many, he says. I have the looks and the body. Robert, I think possibly you could definitely be the first Icelander to play Bond, or indeed any film character. What people from Iceland have been in films? I don't know. You tell me. chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. All right. How are we doing for time? One more email, I think. Just one more email. From Tom. Hello, Tom, who does a podcast himself, who says, Chris, we're talking about vegetables and the fact that I'm quite enjoying eating raw peppers. Chris, most vegetables are better for you raw rather than cooked. So I'm doing the right thing here. Not only because cooking them leaches out some of the nutrients, but because what you cook them in, butter or oil, adds fat. Oh, well, I don't cook vegetables in anything. If I cook them, they are either roasted in the oven, or hang on, yeah, with extra virgin olive oil I'll put over them. or in the steamer with nothing at all, and they were just steam. That's how I have my vegetables. He says, also, cooking takes away a lot of the flavour. If you must cook vegetables, steaming, as I do, is preferable to boiling them or frying them. I quite like steamed asparagus. Do you know what? I don't think I've ever had asparagus. Isn't that funny? I'm sure I've never ever had asparagus. He says, in general, I much prefer raw veggies to cooked ones, though some, like potatoes or squash, are greatly improved by cooking. Oh yeah, cooking. But even with potatoes, I don't add salt or anything. Just maybe a bit of milk, that's it. By the way, potatoes aren't bad for you by themselves. How you prepare them makes a big difference. I also don't think that bread is evil, though. No, neither do I. We like a bit of new bread, dear. I think the basics peppers are probably no worse than regular ones, because we were saying, is there any difference between buying basic peppers and regular ones? I don't think there is. But it's possible that the basic ones are slightly older and they price them cheaper to get rid of them before they go bad. I would check to make sure they're not too soft, which, funnily enough, I'd got one out of the fridge the other day and it had gone a bit soft around the side. So thanks for that one, Tom. And we're out of time today. As always, thanks for joining me. Lots of emails here to come up on the next show. Chris at unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk if you want to join in. Chris at unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. See you on the next show. Bye-bye now.